You're playing outside. I almost gave you the, oh my goodness, as well. Oh, sneaks it in.
Dallas wins it 37-34. No doubt they'll all be saying afterwards, win for Dak.
Absolutely. Hearts and pressure with you, buddy. Give you a shout.
Oh.
There's some wind off the right.
This is what it was, huh?
Man, I think that God, somebody.
As fast as you could.
1-3 and an 0-4. And that was about as exciting a game as you could have.
It was
Wow. Oh, man. What a game.
Snapping it back. Jones got it down, nearly got the laces where he wanted them, and Dalton helps lead the Cowboys down the field. Incredible throws and catches by Michael Gallup. And Dallas at 2-3, as you see Coach Garrett and Ezekiel Elliott have a moment.
Oh, man, what a game. What a game. Jesus. I don't know where to begin. My heart is still a little, even though we barely won, a win is a win. I'll take it. We did what we were supposed to do to get in field goal range. Andy Dalton did a pretty good job coming in, stepping in for Dak Prescott. My heart was hurt when he got hurt, man, when he went down and carted off the field. Had the severe ankle injury. I'm just hoping for a speedy recovery. I began not to even care about the game anymore. I was more concerned about Dak Prescott than the game itself, and I'm just happy that he's. I'm happy that we won the game. I'm happy that Andy Dalton came in and stepped in, and we won for Dak. That was a win for Dak. I'm still upset and disappointed at this defense still not being able to get to the quarterback. You're right there, get to him. We just can't get to him, and I'm still very disappointed in them. But Andy Dalton got us in field goal range and won this game. Wow. Oh, my God. Very emotional game. Very emotional game. Dak going down, man. Really just yeah, that was for Dak. Yeah, crazy one. Whew. Oh my God. Yeah, I was looking for Dak updates too. I wasn't even concerned about the game anymore. I was waiting on Dak Prescott updates. That's all I cared about. And they said he had a severe ankle injury. Obviously, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So now we have to figure out. Injuries has really been a curse this year with not only the Cowboys, but all NFL teams. And he just tried to stay up and get more yardage and get closer to the end zone. It was just a competitive nature in him. He should have went down. You know, guys are hanging on to you by a thread, man. Just go down. It's almost not worth it. I get it. You're trying to get that extra yardage. I get it. But just go down, because that weight, that pressure on your limbs isn't worth it. It didn't hold up. That's why I snapped on him. And yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. I don't want to go with the shoulda, woulda, couldas, but oh man, I know it. Hey, bro, I know, man. I know it, man. I know it. Tough one. Andy Dalton is a starting quarterback, though. He's had his share of interceptions throughout his career with the Cincinnati Bengals, but he knows how it is to be. He knows he has that experience to know how it is to be a starting quarterback. And I'm hoping that he can lead us this season for the rest of this season, man. And you never know. Mark Scott, appreciate the super chat, bro. Let's see. Bro, you know I can't stand the Cowboys. I must say I'm sorry for Dak, Cowboy Nation. Yeah, man, I'm a Bengals fan since 1976. God will open up your eye. I hope so, man. I hope so. That's what I'm counting on right now. Being a Cowboy fan, I'm not giving up on the season. I'm not giving up on my team. There's still a lot of football to play. We still have to go out there and compete and play. I don't want to hear nobody coming here and say, "Oh, season's over. Let's tank," all this stuff. We're still capable of winning games, guys. So we just got to get out. We just got to get our feet up, under us and, get this season going. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lamb, I like the way Lamb played. Jeremy, hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you joining me. Let's go over the stats. Before I bring Space Cowboy in here, man, let's go over the stats real quick. Since we won, I'll go ahead and go over the Dallas Cowboy stats real quick. Dak Prescott, 14 for 21, 166. He scored a touchdown, but not a passing touchdown. He actually caught his first touchdown pass of his career. Cedric Wilson threw that 11-yard pass to him. One interception by Dak. It was the tip one with Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott, 20 for 91. I was kind of hoping he'd get 100 yards. 2 touchdowns for Zeke, 4.6 average. Getting better. Running game's getting a lot better. The Giants defense overall was ranked 5 in the NFL. So they have a good defense. So we were able to convert and keep ourselves in the game for Dak. And before Dak got hurt and after Dak got hurt. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, you played against the sorry 0-4 Giants. Yeah, but they got a pretty good defense. So that means we can move the ball against a good defense. They were ranked 11th last year. I believe I looked at the numbers today. They said they were ranked number 5 overall. So Tony Pollard, we got him some more touches, 6 for 30, 5-yard average. CeeDee Lamb, guys, 8 receptions, guys, for 124 yards. Would have been better. 11 targets. Would have been better if he could have got a touchdown. Michael Gallup stepped up. Michael Gallup always makes the big catches. Y'all notice that? Him and Amari Cooper always comes through at the end. I love those guys, man. Michael Gallup, 4 for 73, 4 targets. Amari Cooper, 2 for 23, 4 targets. Cedric Wilson, 4 for 22, 4 targets. Ezekiel Elliott, 1 for 14. Andy Dalton, 9 for 11, 111 yards. Pretty good. I like that. Didn't throw an interception, so that's all that matters right now. So Dak Prescott goes down. What do? We got Andy Dalton. We got to roll with him now. I had a couple of fans come in the halftime spiel, and they were happy that Dak Prescott got hurt, and I was so upset. I was so emotional at the time. I said some things that I meant, and I still mean right now. I hate I had to go there, but I was so mad, man. I just hated somebody had that kind of heart come in my live stream, in my chat, come in talking noise like that about my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback, guys. So I don't like nobody coming in and talking bad about him. Any quarterback that gets hurt, man, shouts go out to their families, man. I don't wish nothing bad on anybody. That's just low. That's pathetic. That's evil. That's next level ignorance. You're right there. So let me go ahead and bring Space Cowboy in, guys. I know he's waiting patiently. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Just get Space Cowboy in here, man. Yeah, I know it, Jeremy. I know it. 19-8. Eshan, what's up, brother? I'm glad we won the game. To me, this was a win. We had to win for Dak. My QB put his heart out there for this team. He deserved to win. Yeah, he deserved to win. He deserved to get paid, too. Now we're going to see how different it is without Dak Prescott. Everybody want to blame Dak for everything, Oh, Dak this, Dak that, all the Dak haters out there. But now you got your quarterback in there now. So if we're still losing games with Andy Dalton in there, let's see if y'all show up then. Let's see if you show up then. Let's see if all the evil haters out there show up then. Hate it for Dak. I hate it, man. Just waiting on Space Cowboy to get in here. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, big dog. What's up, man?
I don't know, man. This win is bittersweet. I can't. I don't know what to say. I mean, it sucks, dude. I know we won the game. I know Dalton came in and did his thing, which is cool, but it sucks seeing, it's my quarterback, man. It hurts. I'm hurt. I still am hurt because I just think that, he's one of the nicest people. He's a really good guy, really high character dude. And see him go out like that, it sucks. Sure, Dallas pulled off listen, we can get into the whole nitty-gritty of things, but it's just tough because, honestly, it looked like the Cowboys were starting to get their shit together. And then that happened. So, I'm not going to sit here and say I really am not I'm not up to seeing anybody in the... Listen, I don't know who's going to say shit in the comments, but you're getting instantly banned in my chat if you're saying anything bad about Dak. I'm just being dead honest. I
had a guy in the halftime spiel. I think he was a Philly fan. I guess he was upset because they lost, and he came in my live stream and said, goody, Dak Prescott's hurt. And I was so upset. I was so emotional at the time, and I just started flying out things at him, man. I was so pissed off, and I just thought it was disrespectful. I thought it was heartless. I thought it was evil. I thought it was low class, and I don't wish any bad on him. I can't stand the Eagles. I'm not gonna say I can't stand them, but I'm not an Eagle fan. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Right.
I don't wish nothing bad on a quarterback. I don't wish he got hurt. I've never done that. I never will do that. And for somebody to do that, that's the lowest of low. The lowest of low, man. I feel sorry for him. I'm just gonna pray for him. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I'm not gonna sit here and take any of the bullshit, because I've already seen enough of that fucking nonsense of people making they're like, oh well, Dalton can do this. I don't give a fuck right now, dude, because this is a massive crossroads with this franchise, and I'm not trying to. But just hear me out and we'll get into the game. But I wanted to talk about this first because this is important. If Dak's injury, this could impact his career. We don't know. We know he's getting ankle surgery tonight. And odds are he's out for the season. But my whole thing is that we got to wait and see what happens. I don't care what happens this season because at the end of the day, it really is all about what happens with Dak because he's your franchise quarterback. You need to figure out what's going to happen with him, right? Because if this injury impacts his career, then you end up having to think you got to take a quarterback. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. But I'm not going to do that right now. Those are questions we'll get to once we get more of a better diagnosis. But look, man, we won this game. We'll get to that question. Those questions in a sec. But listen, I do want to say, listen, Dalton did his thing. As much as he had a couple mental errors here and there, I think that he did very well for what we're expecting in a backup. He was the reason we won this game. Let me rephrase that. If Dak was in this game, we would have won the game already. We would have. But I mean, I just think now you're going to see the Cowboys return to a conservative type of offense where it's like you're going to see a more run-heavy team, and I think that you're going to see that going forward. But we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks. I think, listen, we talked about this 1980. We said wins can do a lot for you. I mean, the defense got a defensive touchdown, but we'll get into the game. But last thing I'm going to say on the Dak thing, because that's the number one thing, is I don't know what to say other than I really hope he gets better. Really good guy. I mean, it sucks seeing him upset because it's just you can feel for him. It hurts. But
this guy has never been hurt. He's always been a warrior. He's so durable. He's so durable. He thought he could get back up. He pointed at his ankle and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't get up." So because my ankle, and I was so in shock. It didn't register. It didn't register until the cart came out.
No, I knew it was broken. I knew it was broken the minute I saw his leg because what I thought happened.
I knew it was broken, but I just my brain. Dak has been so consistent, health-wise, and he's always came back and leaded us and tried to lead us and bring us back in the second half. And I knew he was hurt. I knew it was broke. I'm not questioning that at all. But my brain wouldn't allow me to think to accept him being hurt.
Right.
He's too durable. He's too solid. He's just one of those type of guys that's always there. He's always that shoulder to lean on. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And
hell, I almost cried. I got teary eyed.
I literally cried. I was like, "This sucks, man." And it's just that you never. It's just the whole rest of the game. I was just like,
yeah, I didn't even care about the game anymore. I was more concerned about hearing a Dak update than caring him. I mean, I wanted to win regardless, and I'm pretty sure the Cowboys wanted to win. But Dak, look what Dak's been through. Look at even the fan base. Even our fan base is against him. You got fan base guys that root for the Cowboys or so-called root for the Cowboys. That didn't want him to succeed, so they can write about their little opinion. You get what I'm saying? And now. And I think all that emotion, he thought about his mom at the same, he pointed in the air and everything. And it's just so sad what he's been through. He deserved to get his money. They didn't give him his money yet. And so many things just kind of went through my head when it happened, man. It's crazy.
I mean, listen, I'm just hoping they don't do him dirty. I think they did do him dirty still with him not paying him yet. But I'm going to tell you this right now. We'll see what happens in the next couple months when free agency hits, when they can give him his next contract. But if they lowball him or they say, we don't need you. Oh, you're going to see hell unleashed. I understand.
Somebody out the chat. How do I do that? How do I get somebody out of this chat? This asshole right here. How do I get him out of here?
Let's see. Where are you at, my guy? Because I'll do that. Let me take a look.
Please do that. Let me see.
Oh, there you go. All right. Enjoy leaving. See ya. Bye-bye.
Yeah. We ain't got time.
But look, with that being said, let's just put it this way. Let's just put this aside. We'll get to that. We'll get to that money crossroads. When we get there. So with that being said, I want to talk about Andy Dalton. Okay. Now, with that being said, I do believe that Andy Dalton, he has a proven track record of leading teams to the playoffs, right? With that being said, I really do want to say this. My whole thing is like, I think he can get us to the, I think he can get us there. Okay. My whole thing is that I'm just worried because in the back of my head I'm still dead. Like it's just like I feel dead inside. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Because I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. My whole thing is like we see the schedule. I do believe that Andy Dalton can win us some games. My only issue is because we're in first place right now. My only thing is I don't know. I mean, it's just there's a lot going through my head right now because I just don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what the hell to say other than we gotta wait and see what the hell happens with Dak. So.
We still have to talk about. You're out of it. I can tell. I'm kind of out of it. That injury is a blow. It's something that we didn't think that would happen, and when it happened, it was like, whoa, no, this is not happening. So now what we have to do is gather ourselves. We still have a game to review. We still have a post game to review. So let's talk about. Let's start with you. Let's talk about how you felt about the first half, first quarter, second quarter, because the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see. Let me go to the stats. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
first quarter, the Giants scored 14 points. We scored 3. So our defense was kind of all over the place in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about the first quarter, second quarter, first half? Let's go over the first half.
Okay. So I just want to say this. Like, when we saw what happened, if you listen, there was Dak threw a pass that was intercepted for a pick 6. Okay, so you can't put that on the defense. So I would say the first drive, that was bad. But outside of that, the defense only lit up 6 points the rest of the half when you look at it. Then I will say the Cowboys kind of got in gear because you saw the defense get a touchdown. There was a lot I saw. DeMarcus Lawrence was playing better. You started seeing pressure from the defense. The thing was Daniel Jones was just escaping and he was throwing the ball away. So, like, it's kind of hard. But, like, look, the Cowboys managed to get 3 sacks on Daniel Jones. But the thing is, there should have been more. However, the other thing is that the Cowboys in the second half, I want you to think about this. They were limiting the Giants to 3 points. The only reason they let up a touchdown was because of Dalton's fumble. So I don't want people to we lit up 34 points. But my thing is that if you really think about it, if you take away those 2 turnovers by the offense, which led to 14 points, that's 20 points of total points being scored. And honestly, I don't like. It's okay. Because honestly, 20 points is average. But it's unacceptable that you let a team jump on both sides of the ball. Jump on you 14 points to 3 when they were averaging 12 points a game going into this game. Now, I will say, I did like how the Cowboys kind of went back to the running game a bit in the second quarter, I believe. You kind of started seeing them lean on Zeke and Pollard. We got 126 rushing yards this game, which is pretty good. All right, you're getting back to your roots. And the Cowboys weren't as pass happy in this game as I started to notice as we were drugging along. I think ever since Dak threw the interception, the Cowboys kind of kept it out of his hands. But, I mean, listen, CeeDee Lamb looked fantastic this game. Another 100-yard game for him with 8 receptions. He caught passes that were unbelievable. Like, even while getting hit in the head twice, he got 2 penalties when he got hit in the head. And Michael Gallup, got to give a huge shout out to this man because he's the reason. I understand that the quarterback has to get the ball to him, but Gallup making those 2 key catches to get us in field goal position to win the game. Huge shout out to him.
Perfect throw.
Perfect throw. Right, and it's like Andy was 9 for 11. And he made the right decisions, and I can see that the Cowboys can win. I mean, he's the reason we won this game at the end with what happened. He almost cost us this game. But this is a game, like I said, the Cowboys needed, and it looked like Zeke was starting to run with passion. You started to see that on the drive where we got the field goal to tie the game up. He was running better. I know we're jumping into the second quarter or second half, but I just want to give my whole thoughts on this because I'm still irritated at the mental mistakes we're seeing. For example, Donovan Wilson causing a 12-man on the field penalty, which led to 3 points for the Giants. We did get bailed out in this game. I'm going to just say this right now. The Cowboys were lucky. They were very, very, very lucky. There was the fake field goal, which led to a touchdown that got called back, luckily, because of Cameron Fleming, who looks to be on Jerry Jones's payroll, with the illegal formation. Or I forget what it was, illegal shift, I think it was. I don't remember. And then the second one was just a long touchdown pass, but I think it was an illegal screen or something they called it on. So the Cowboys got very lucky in these situations. I will say that. I'm just calling a spade. But at the end of the day, I do have to give the Cowboys props here. The Cowboys have put up 37 points once again. Yes, they gave up 34 points, but when you start looking at how they got those 34 points, it's kind of like, oh, that makes sense. But 37 points for this team, especially when Dalton came in and led them to 10 of them. I believe, 10 of them, I think. Yeah, that's very damn good, especially with the situation we were in.
Total yards, once again, New York Giants 300, Dallas 402. A lot of that had to do with Dak and Dalton stepping in at the last minute and carrying us to a victory. Turnovers, we 2, and turnovers we had 2. New York Giants had 1. Time of possession, New York Giants still won 32.22, 27.38. First downs, we had more first downs. We moving the ball downfield. And I agree with you, man. Our offense looked a little different today. We were a little bit more conservative, but aggressive at the same time.
Right.
That we were running the ball, and shouts out to this beat up, banged up offensive line without Tyron Smith, without Joe Looney. They really gave Dak time. They really gave Dalton time, and Zeke. They opened holes for Zeke to run through, and gave time to find CeeDee Lamb as well.
Right.
And CeeDee Lamb was attacking the middle of the defense, which is the weakest part of the defense, and we were just moving the chains, man. I'm still upset at this defense, though, giving away a lot of big plays, not getting to the quarterback when they're supposed to. They're right there. They just can't seem to get to him, not getting off the field on third down. It could be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, don't matter, but they still convert on first and get a first down. Defense really has to find a way to get to this quarterback, man. I know D-Law got his first strip sack of the year, and Anthony Brown ran it in, but after that, I just didn't really see him anymore. And we just got to get a little consistent with these blitzes and converting on defense. And no, I'm sorry, not converting, but executing on defense, because that's what's killing us, man. And the bonehead penalties, you mentioned the 12 men on the field and the illegal shifts and all that stuff, man. That's discipline, man. We got to fix those things. Giants having the worst offense in the league, man. We made them look good. They scored 34 points in this game to our 37. And we gotta. That's a problem, man. That's a big problem. We're still able, even with a backup quarterback, we're still able to get up the field. And Dalton's no pushover, man. He started many years in Cincinnati, and I believe he can lead this team. We got to be a little bit more conservative until he gets his feet, under him, because he's been on the sideline for a long time, under Dak and everything. And now he's going to be able to, get, really, it's going to take him about a game or two to really get it back into a rhythm. So I'm really upset at this defense, though. We could have put this, we were gonna with Dak, like you said, we were gonna put this game away a long time ago. But we were just letting them back in it with bonehead mistakes, bonehead penalties, and it just a lot of things we still have to clean up, so.
Right, really quickly in my chat, Justin D with the $10 donation or super chat up. Prayers up for Dak. Thank you, man, so much. I mean, thank you so much for that. But also, again, thoughts with Dak right now with what's been going on. But I got to say this. Jalen Smith, I've been calling him a liability. I said he should be gone. He showed out and showed up in this game. I got to give him props, man. He had 14 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 3 tackles for losses with 3 quarterback hits. What? We registered 11 quarterback hits in this game. That is fantastic. Listen, Jalen, there were parts where I was getting annoyed with him. I was like, why the hell are you goddamn swiping when you're with what's been going on? But again, I gotta give Jalen his props here because he made plays when they mattered. He was stopping the run at certain moments and stuff like that. I mean, yes, he does have his issues in coverage, but I do see what I liked what I saw with him in this game. I feel like he can definitely obviously could do better. But I don't know when apparently Leighton is in that time period now to where it's possible for him to come back. I don't want to rush him back, though, considering the situations we're in. But I do think that because Anthony Brown came back, and I got to give props to D-Law, John Jones with the $5 holler. What's going on, man? What was I going to say? But DeMarcus Lawrence, he had a pretty solid game, too. He had a sack in this game, his first sack of the season, and it led to a touchdown. He had a key play which really turned the tables for this game. He got, he's the reason the Cowboys kind of, in that initial, sequences of events, got them back in the game and tied this thing up. So I got to give him his props there. Everson Griffin, I'm going to say this. Dude, you've been pissing me off, and you're still pissing me off. Dude, that effort I saw, I understand that you're not the fastest dude on the field, but come the hell on, man. Letting that touchdown up. So I heard rumblings, and I've been seeing this idea floated that you let him go for Randy when it comes back. I'm all for that.
I'm telling you, man. Bench City. I'm glad you brought up Jalen Smith. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Mike Nolan was on. Did you notice he was on the sideline today? He wasn't in the box.
You could see yeah, and I don't want to cut you off, but I did see there was an elevated sense of energy.
Yep.
From the defense. Now, again, they did let up 34 points. Well, the team let up 34 points because if we think, like I mentioned, 14 points came off of turnovers for the Cowboys. So, again, if you take those 14 points away from the offense, that turns into that turns into 20 points that they actually scored. Which I mean, it's like, okay, that's slightly better. I mean, but still, given the circumstances, you should be playing better. But I just really think that if this defense, with the reinforcements coming back in and stuff like that, I really do think that this team is still the best team in the NFC East. I know it's crazy to say that when you lose one of your best offensive players and your quarterback nonetheless. But again, like you said, Andy's no slouch. I'm not saying the dude's garbage. I don't believe he's better than Dak Prescott, but he's not a terrible quarterback. I had a video when we were still in the training camp. I said he's the best backup we've had in a long, long time. He can win you games. And I honestly think 1980, and this is an honest thing, this is going to be a testament to how well this coaching staff is offensively speaking. Because with having a backup quarterback, you still have your offensive weapons. If we can mount some wins, yeah, you can say, but they're bad. But the thing is if we can mount wins with the given personnel we have and the situation we're in, that's a testament to what we have with our team. In terms of our coaching staff, does Mike Nolan need to do better? Yeah, sure. Does all the players got to do better? Yeah, everyone's got to do better. The mistakes got to stop. But as I believe someone in the chat said, compound fracture and dislocated ankle for Dak. But if that's the case, I've seen timetables to where that could take between 6 weeks upwards to several months.
That's a tough guy, but he's a really tough guy. So, ankles are that's a very sensitive, that holds all your weight. And that's what I was saying. That supports your body weight because it's it's a bottom limb of your body. And that's what I was saying. The same thing happened with Alan Hearns. Remember 2 years ago? The same thing happened. Wasn't that Alan Hearns that got hurt? Yep. Yep. Same thing happened.
Well, I mean, he was ready to go by train, but when we think about it, not to cut you off again, it's just he got hurt in January, and I think he was ready to go in the middle of. So it took a couple months, but I don't know what the time. I think he's out for the season.
Oh yeah. I know he's probably going to be out for the season. But what I was getting at with the injury. Dak being a competitive that he is, was trying to get that extra yard. You get what I'm saying? And that pressure, his ankle couldn't withstand that pressure of trying to stay up and that guy's body weight going on, and that's how it snapped on him. So, man, my heart goes out to him and his family, man, everything. Speedy recovery, man, but he's going to be missed. This defense has really got to find a way. I know a lot when we were talking about the defense and Mike Nolan being on the sideline and Jalen Smith and everything, you noticed that Xavier Woods was in the box a lot today as well. And I think that made Jalen Smith play a lot better. It almost seemed like a 4-3 almost. It almost seemed like a 4-3 at times because we brought the safety up in the box. You get what I'm saying? So if we can get Van Der Esch back, and we can really, get him back next week or the week after or something, then get Gregory back, this defense will probably be a whole lot better than what it is right now. Anything we can get to get these 3 and outs, man, we got to get off the field at third down. They're killing us on third down. They have the worst they're ranked 30th, one of the worst offenses in the league, and they were converting on us because we just can't get missed tackles, alligator arms, arm tackles. We just can't have that. We're not disciplined. We got to get better on defense. I think we can be okay at offense with Andy Dalton, and I think he can move the chains. He's a veteran. He's been in the league a long time. Yeah, he had his share of interceptions, like I said earlier, with Cincinnati. But I feel with this offense and this offensive line, hopefully if the offensive line continues to block like they did today, and the Giants had their defense was ranked, their rush defense was ranked 11th. Their overall defense was ranked number 5 in the NFL. So they had one of the best defenses that we went up against this season. So The Giants defense was no pushover. So we were able to move the ball against them and run the ball and pass the ball with Dak and Andy Dalton. So I still think that being a Cowboy fan, man, I'm still going to have a good vibe and positive thoughts about the upcoming, the rest of the season, going into the rest of the season.
Right, and I was just looking up the information about the recovery time. Now, the thing is it could take 4 to 6 weeks for just the bones to heal, and they could take a couple months to regain. So he's out. But again, yeah, thank you, Drew, so much for that. And again, and you never, like, whether it be Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, or anybody else in this league, you never want to see someone get hurt because it just sucks, man.
Yeah.
But again, the Dallas Cowboys, it's the next man up mentality is real. And we've been seeing it this season. Now, I do have to give a couple props, though. Like you mentioned with the offensive line. Tyler Biadasz, he did have a couple hiccups in this game. But again, he's a rookie center, so those are expected. Things happen. But he did very well in this game. Terrence Steele, he did pretty solid for what it was. Yeah, again, a couple hiccups, but still looked pretty good for what he was. Brandon Knight looked solid. I mean, I got to give it up for this offensive line. They only allowed, I think, just 2 sacks in this game. Yeah, just 2 sacks in this game. And the only other sack that happened in the game, other than the sack on Dak Prescott, earlier in the game, was when Andy Dalton came in and it was the 2nd and 1 and he got sacked immediately. So I mean, outside of that, it's been pretty good. Now we could sit here and talk about. What does are the Cowboys done and stuff like that. I want everyone to understand something that, yeah, I felt like in the moment when you're drained emotionally, yeah, it feels like that the season's over because your QB1's out. But the thing is I believe that, and like I said earlier, we're going to see a real test for this roster and coaching staff because even if Dallas doesn't do well record-wise, but seeing the effort with what we have is going to be a huge testament. You know what I mean? There's still plenty of season to go. We're 2-3. We're in first place in the division now. And like I said, it takes one win to change things. And yeah, even though Dak will be out for the foreseeable future, listen, man, we have Arizona coming up. They just won this week. They're no joke either. They probably will give us a fight, and they'll probably, assuming, I hate to say it, but they might beat us because of how well they've been playing. But at the same time, you look at the Cowboys schedule, and I said this on the previous show, on the pregame show, is like, listen, if Dallas can get back on track, there's a possibility they could be 4-4 at the halfway point, and they could be looking at a good position. Listen, Philadelphia hasn't looked particular. I mean, Wentz has been playing better, but he hasn't been looking particularly well. The Giants, we just, they put a fight. Again, these divisional games are tough. They're tough. But they're pretty much down in the cellar now. And then the Washington team just looked abysmal. We saw Alex Smith come back. I think it was his first snap from first plays from coming back from that leg injury. I got to give him a round of applause because you never want to see that. Especially that was like a Joe Theismann type of thing. So I was very glad to see him on the football field, just because I know he got sacked a bunch. But yeah, I mean, as we look at what's going on, Dallas, I think, has a comfortable schedule. Do I think nothing's guaranteed at this point? I'm not guaranteeing anything, but we'll see how things go. All I'm saying is let's just ride this season out. This is my closing statement, but we'll talk about a couple other things. But we're just going to ride this season out, and let's just see what happens. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, cool. If the Cowboys miss the playoffs, okay. We'll just see what these last now 11 games tell us.
Yeah, that's all we can do. I mean, especially now with the injury to our leader, our quarterback, it's a tough one. And we just got to figure out life. Unfortunately, life goes on without our starting quarterback. We just got to figure it out. The Dallas Cowboys organization has to figure it out. And I think Andy Dalton is a pretty good enough candidate to do that. We just got to get this defense going, man.
Right.
I'm with you. Take one game at a time. I still want to win. I still like to win. I still want to, go to the playoffs and do something. Even though a lot of people are saying this is a transitional season, transitional year.
Yeah.
We still got to compete. You can't lay down for anybody. So I don't know. I just I'm still numb right now. I'm really, really numb.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling. And I just never thought that Dak would get hurt, because he's so tough, so resilient, and so durable. And I never thought he would get hurt. And it's happened. You never know. That's why I always say, you never know what the day is going to bring you. And look what happened. And but we just got to figure it out, man. As Cowboy fans, Cowboy Nation, we got to figure it out. Cowboy organization has to figure it out. And I think Dalton could withstand the test of time throughout this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, people might say, hey, well, Dak might not be able to be a dual threat quarterback. Well, he wasn't really doing that much this season to begin with. I think I'm not trying to put this in this perspective, but just to kind of some food for thought. I think the Cowboys allowing Dak to develop as a better passer has, makes this, I think, a little bit less impactful if this is, but again, the thing is I want to see what the timetable is for his recovery, because if his recovery puts him at getting ready for training camp next year, then cool. But if he's out for a year, possibly, not saying 2, but if he's out like Alex Smith was, which I don't think it's going to be that bad, then my complexion changes going into the offseason next year. So again, I know I mentioned this earlier in the show, but we had to. Well, I felt like I had to because it was just like what was on my mind. But I'm not going to talk about, do we got to take a quarterback in the draft? I'm not going to think about that until the entire facts and everything that is laid. And when the cards are laid out in front of us, we'll have that conversation. But right now, we have 11 games to play. Yeah. Andy Dalton's our quarterback now, and we just got to, when it comes to Dak getting hurt, I feel like sometimes it's inevitable for someone to get hurt because it's a game of football. You don't know, like you said, you don't know what the day is going to bring you. I didn't expect Dak to get hurt like that, though. No. But again, it's just that's the type of player he is. He's a warrior. He wants to get the first down. He wants to. So I don't want people to make it seem like, why are we running Dak? See, it's Kellen Moore's fault. No, man, stuff happens. I don't want people to have this buyer's remorse of because we did this play, he got hurt, therefore it's his fault. Yeah. So don't think that, man. Listen, you know what? He's a fighter. He'll come back from this. I fully believe that. And again, I got to talk about this play. The Dallas special, the freaking end around touchdown with Cedric Wilson and Dak. I got to say, that was a damn good play call. I got to say that. That was a pretty damn good play call. That caught me off surprise. I was like, but I got to give also the credit there. We held the Giants to 3 points, and then we drove down the field in less than a minute and got a touchdown. So I do like what I'm seeing from this team. There are nuggets of things that I've been seeing. And I think you're kind of starting to see – I think you're going to see the identity emerge of we're going to be a run-heavy team. You're going to start seeing Zeke get a ton more touches. He got 20 touches for 91 yards in this game. He had another 100-yard day of scrimmage. And he had 2 touchdowns today. So you're going to start seeing us.
That was Dak's first receiving touchdown.
Last time, fun fact, the last time that happened was when Danny White caught it.
Wow.
Back in the 80s, yeah.
Back in the 80s.
I think it was against the Browns or the Rams, if I remember. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, but real quick, if you don't mind, I just want – okay. Look, I just want to say this as well. Before we get to the questions, I would like the questions to not be about Dak Prescott right now. We've kind of talked about him. We'll take questions surrounding the game, how we felt about the defense, but no questions about Dak Prescott, guys. Not that we're afraid to do it, just because I know most of the questions might be about that. So there is that. So let's see if we got any questions. Okay, so Ishan asks in 1980s chat, my question is, how can we start faster on both sides of the ball? Because other teams will run up the score on us if we keep starting out slow. That's a good question. Well, first off, we can't be causing turnovers. That's number one. It's all mental. That's another thing, the mental mistakes too. It's just what I notice is that a lot of teams, listen, they throw the kitchen sink at us all the time. You were going to expect that.
Yeah, exactly. That's at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, you're going to see that happen, especially when it comes to, certain teams, especially when they're backed up against the wall. But, yeah, I think that's the number one thing is just, first off, you got to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know,
At the beginning of the game, they're going to shoot what they can at you. They want to try to make you one. They was trying to make us one dimensional, and they succeeded. They succeeded for a little while until the second quarter when we scored 21 points to their 6. Our defense Mike Nolan's defense, he found some holes in our offense, and he adjusted. He came down and adjusted this defense and made it put Jalen Smith in a better predicament to make plays and everything. So still a lot of boneheaded plays, missed tackles, and things like that. But this is the best our defense has played all season. You know what I'm saying? So I can say that. Physically, this is the best they played. Statistically, I don't know yet how many points yards they allowed and everything, but the Giants still scored 34 points on this defense and had over 400 yards total, I think, on our defense. That's too much.
right? Yeah.
That's way too much. So we got to figure out how to get that number down.
Yeah. Next question by Chris Sturd. When is Shawn Lee and Gregory coming back? Now, Gregory has been confirmed. He's been practicing a bit from what I've been seeing. Well, yes. But he's scheduled to come back with the Washington game. So we're 1 game away, or 2 weeks away if you want to be that technical. But we're 1 game away after the Cardinals game for getting Gregory back. As for Shawn Lee, I don't know when his timetable for return is. It's been just a question mark for the longest time. So I can't really answer that. But I guess that just answers that question. Now we're going to combine these 2 questions into like a 2-part. But first, Cowboys champs, since Al Harris is the secondary coach, why is he not getting called out about his coaching? That's fair, but at the end of the day, you know who that falls on. It's the defensive coordinator, because the defensive coordinator works in cahoots with everyone else below him. So we can see, like, it's like with Chris Richard, you know, when we were talking about Chris Richard. Exactly. But again, it's Rod Marinelli that's the one that's given the okay for him to do the play calling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, listen, Al Harris, you know, do I have some issues there? Probably. But again, we just got to wait and see. So this is the 2-part question. So by Danny Nunez and Rocky Owens. So Danny asks, do you think Andy will handle the pressure? And then Rocky Owens asks, were you happy with Dalton's performance? So we'll start with Rocky's question because it's of the current. I was happy with what he was able to do, the decision making. I liked what I saw. Him not like, when we see backups with the Cowboys, I have visions of Brandon Weeden and Matt Castle. They're not going deep, right? They've never really go deep. Andy's willing to take those chances, right? He's willing to scan the field and make the right decision. He's not like Brandon Weeden, where Brandon Weeden looks at one side of the field and he throws. That's something that still gives me PTSD to this day, that 2015 season. But I am very happy with what I saw from Andy. What about you, 1980?
I like what I saw this game. Who knows next week against the Cardinals? He came in and he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't do anything really spectacular. He threw the long pass to Gallup, perfect pass to Gallup. But other than that, I think he just plugged him in. We had no choice but to plug him in, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and still win this game for us. He got us in field goal range, and he didn't make any mistakes. And now, if he would have played the whole game, would he have been consistent like that? I don't know. He came in, he got sacked, fumbled, and everything. So, but like you said earlier, he's fresh off the bench. He's been playing on the bench, this whole season, and those are fresh legs coming in and jitters and all that stuff. So now that that's out the window, he started coming in and being a little bit more consistent and getting us down the field. So I got a lot of faith in him. I'm going to have faith. I have no choice but to have faith in Andy Dalton. Because he's our quarterback now. He's our quarterback now. So we have to find something in us to support him, regardless of what he's done with Cincinnati and all the interceptions and all that stuff. But he's, like you said earlier, Space Cowboy, again, he's led the Cincinnati Bengals to a playoff.
5 times. Five times he's led them to the playoffs.
He's a consistent guy. He throws his interceptions. Hell, what quarterback doesn't throw interceptions?
Right.
But, with the weapon, this is a different team now. Somebody mentioned in the comments section, this is a different team now, different scheme. I think he's a better fit for the Cowboys and be a little bit more successful with the Cowboys than he was with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree with that. And then if he can handle the pressure, I do think he can. Again, you're going to see him make, I think, more mistakes than Dak would. But again, like 1980 said, it's just because he's been on the bench. He's not really had time to have practice. He hasn't had time to be in-game situations to throw the ball a ton. I mean, the only other in-game experience he had with the Cowboys was when Dak got concussed and he just did a little bootleg pass in the end zone in that Falcons game. But I do think Andy can be serviceable. And honestly, with what we have offensively speaking, maybe that's all we need. If Zeke, as long as I don't want us to fall into the rut of we're just a run-heavy team and we can't pass the ball. Because I think Andy will make it, he'll get the ball downfield. We saw it happen in this game. We saw it happen. So I really did like what I see. I think he can handle the pressure, man. We're not asking him to do much. Just get the ball in the end zone. Get this team some points and win us a couple games. Even if this game drudges into what I want to see is this team to just finish the season strong with what we have. Someone also asked in my chat, who was it? Buddy Johnson says, do you think we see Ben DiNucci this season? I'm going to just say this right now. Ben DiNucci only comes off the bench is if the Cowboys season completely goes off the rails. That's the only time you might see him. So, do you think he can handle the pressure in 1980? I know, we could have pretty much answered this question, but
Who? Dalton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think he proved it a little bit today, and I've already said this a million times in this chat. I mean, on this live stream, and when Dak Prescott just went down, when he first went down, I think he can. I would like to think he can, and I would like to have the faith that he can. So, I have a choice, but to want him to be able to hold his composure throughout the rest of the season, he has no choice. So, I think the offensive line, I think it's up to them on giving him the time that he needs to find somebody open and give Zeke the ball. I think we're going to see Zeke and Pollard a lot more coming out of the backfield. And, I think we're still going to see the same things, hopefully. Dak Prescott will be missed. He was our starting guy, and he was our franchise guy, but things happen. So I just hope that I'm going to have faith that Andy Dalton can step in and do the same, hopefully do close to the same thing that Dak was doing.
Right. I mean, look at this. So, yeah, definitely. And then Irving Gomez asks in my chat, thoughts on Cooper. My thing is with Cooper is I dropped my link in the chat if you guys want to go sub up to me. Look, I do believe – listen, I don't care what Cooper does because Cooper's already having a solid season for himself. He hasn't gotten to the end zone a lot, but he's been able to be a damn good receiver. I mean, you kind of start seeing this in games, but because of how many weapons the Cowboys have on offense, it's like if CeeDee's doing his thing, Cooper might not get enough, touches, as well as Gallup. You know what I mean? It's like it's just it's the flow of the game. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say Cooper sucks because he's not getting enough of yardage because that's a pretty incorrect thing to say.
You got to go with what works. You got to
go with
what works. Yeah.
Let me take a look. Shawn with another question. Given the injury, what can our coaches do to put the offense in the best position to succeed? Should our offensive scheme be the same with Andy? Well, I'm going to just say this right here, right now. When Andy was with the Bengals had a plethora of running backs they leaned on, and their defense would make some solid plays here and there. So I think the Cowboys can definitely repeat that recipe, except if the defense could play a little better. But I think you're going to start seeing the Cowboys lean on the run a lot more to start games. But I think you don't get it twisted. Andy can get that ball downfield.
Oh, yeah.
He can run the ball. I've seen him run the ball before. He's done well. I mean, who knows? But I think that honestly, you just do with what works. I think what works is you run the ball and you set him up with short to intermediate passes to kind of alleviate the pressure and take deep shots when he wants to.
Yeah. I agree. But like you say, we just got the next game against Arizona is just the flow of the game. You go with what works. If the running game is working with the 1-2 punch of Zeke and Pollard, let's do that. If the passing game is working, if they can eat the middle of the field up with CeeDee Lamb again, let's do that. You get what I'm saying? Big play by Gallup, consistent play by Cooper. And don't forget about the tight ends. Schultz, get them involved. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we have a backup quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have to keep the same scheme, but start experimenting a little bit. Make sure a lot of people touch the rock. Make sure everybody touch the ball because you don't want to be predictable. You don't want them to find Andy Dalton's weakness and him start throwing interceptions again. That's why it's really big. It's really important for our offensive line to really step up like they did today against an overall number 5 defense. Overall number 5 defense in the New York Giants, which I thought they did a pretty good job.
Right, and again, I just want to stress this before we start beginning to close this thing out.
All right.
Listen, we're not saying Andy is going to come in and do what Dak was doing, like flinging the pigskin all across the damn field. But given the circumstances with this offense, I do believe that Andy could get us a couple wins. Do we get to the playoffs? I don't know. But again, I do think that listen, I've said for the longest time, you need to invest in a backup quarterback so you have that break in case of emergency type of glass type of situation. And for the Cowboys to have a guy in Andy Dalton in the waiting, luckily we didn't have a Cooper Rush there. It really has panned. I know that sounds crazy. Like, you never should see that stuff pan out because your quarterback should never go down, or at worst go down for a couple games. But again, I think that Andy's kind of lucky in this situation because I'm not saying he's going on a cakewalk, you know what I mean? Yeah. But outside of Arizona, you have Washington, then you have Philly, and then you have Pittsburgh. So if Dallas can be 4-5 going into their bye week, I don't see a reason. Like, that's perfect for Andy because, with him, he needs a couple games to where he can kind of ease himself in. So I'm not, yeah. So we'll see what happens. Now Cheater Kingston asks, do you think the Cowboys are a playoff team without Dak? I gotta wait and see how Andy plays long term, not just in one specific game, because the playoff run is going to hinge on how well our quarterback play is, as well as our defense, obviously. But I think it just comes down to your quarterback play. If Andy isn't good, your season's done. But if this defense could start getting its act together, which it's been starting to, yes, again, technically they gave up. They gave up 34 points, but they really gave up 20. If you look at the situation, but hey, we could be talking about. Listen, we're 2-7, season's over, or we could talking about how we're 4-5 and we have a chance to get to the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. So I think that. Do you have any last thoughts, 1980, before we close this thing out?
No, not really. I'm just happy. I'm happy for the win, I guess, even though we won like we did, and at what cost? It cost us our quarterback for a season, maybe for a season, probably for the season, more than likely. But a win is a win, and unfortunately, it's a sport, it's a business, and life has to go on without Dak. I'm just hoping and praying and having faith in this quarterback and our defense and our offensive line. Those are the 3 things to watch right now. Everybody else is pretty much good. It's just that defense. Offensive line, hopefully they can hold up, and Andy Dalton, so those are our concerns right now. And the game would have been won, like you said, if Dak wouldn't have got hurt, but enough of the shoulda, woulda, couldas, but I'm just glad to win, and we can go into this next game at a positive level, and that's here, right?
What's up?
The next game against
it will be in Arlington. Yep.
Okay. Well, we just got to figure out how to, shut down. He's a mobile quarterback, so we got to figure out if we had a hard time getting to, the Giants quarterback, we're definitely going to have a hard time getting.
Yeah. So Kyler Murray, he's a shit. And then we got to go up against DeAndre Hopkins again, and then that team. They're a stingy team. They're a very stingy team. So. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this next iteration of the Lone Star Show. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more shows. We're going to try and do the scheduled format of doing Saturdays at 8 Eastern, 7 Central if things continue to work out. We'll see how our schedules change. But yeah, this was another good show. We thank everyone for tuning in. I'm dropping my link in 1980s chat if you guys want to go ahead and sub up to me if you feel like it. If not, I don't really care. But again, thank you everyone for the super chats and stuff like that. Greatly appreciate that as well. But we'll see you guys. Saturday.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Peace out.